Okay, we're going to do a video about this new bike I just bought a month or so ago. It's for the purpose of touring rather than road biking, which is what I normally do. And one of the things I was looking at the time is what was out there on the market. I didn't know very much about touring bikes. Still learning, and we're going to experience it pretty soon. I've got this trip planned to go from, we're taking a train down to Florida, Fort Lauderdale, and I'm going out to Key West and then going to be biking back up from Key West up to New Jersey in the next month or so. The difference in a touring bike is that it has to be a sturdier, custom built, a different design to the geometry of the bike itself, and the ability to hold the weight and to carry you through a tough ride and a lot of weight on the bike itself. So I'll go through each part here and just give you a quick overview as to what I bought here and how the bike was built. So on a custom bike, they measure you, ask you a lot of questions about what you want to do with the bike itself and purpose of the bike. And for me, doing this long journey was the primary purpose, but the other thing I have is I'm looking to utilize a bike as kind of my backup bike, my second bike. I really don't have one. I ride a Cervelo RS, which I've had for 10 years now. And it serves the purpose for rides, group rides that I do. But what I want to do is have another bike that I think would be fast enough to at least keep up with the group and serve as kind of a multi-purpose, maybe even a town bike, as I'm retiring now and I want to be able to go into town and just take the bike with me. So that's the other main reason for doing this right now. So when you're going through this process of buying a custom bike, there's really two parts to it. One is the kind of consulting role that somebody within the company that you're buying from will ask you a whole bunch of questions and do measurements and have professional people come in and measure you precisely to do the perfect bike fit. And so that all was part of the deal itself. What I ended up doing was going to a place called the Ride Studio Cafe in Lexington, Massachusetts. My son lives up in Lexington, Massachusetts, and although I'm from Morristown, New Jersey, I was up there and I got interested in what they were offering, this whole custom idea versus laying a lot of money out for another type of bike. And I kind of found that this seemed to be what I really was hopeful for. I looked at Trek, I looked at Surly. They both have some great bikes, but they're sort of old school, not very high tech, but certainly serve the purpose. And they weigh a bit, and they wouldn't serve my other purpose of using the bike for other means. I don't think, at least as far as I was concerned itself. Plus, I kind of always believe that you buy the best frame you can buy for what you want to do, and then start there, and then put the components on it, and build on that. You always have time later to replace things, and things wear out anyway. So that's sort of like my strategy for it. Okay, so we're going to take a closer look at the bike itself and give you an idea of what components I put on it. And the bike itself, it is a titanium bike. And you'll notice that I had done something called bead blasting, which puts on the logos. You can see here 7, and actually my name is inscribed in a part of it too. The reason for that is that I expect to be beating this thing up a bit, and decals, to me, once the decal starts peeling, it just doesn't look that attractive on a bike, and I know it's going to happen to something like this. But titanium is really a strong material, and 7 Cycles is known for its quality work in beating and welding things on the frame itself. You'll see, give you a look at different angles on the frame, and there we go. So pure titanium. I had options to color it, to paint it different colors, to two-tone it, add. You can actually build carbon fiber pieces to this and weld it to titanium. Seven Cycles also does steel bikes too, which are kind of classic bikes. But I think for me, the metal itself, titanium, is a great solution for what I want to do. You'll notice that components, the orange, what they call, I think it's tangerine or mango components here, are Chris King components. This is a headset, Chris King headset. The headset itself is like extra wide, making it more stable. And down here, the bottom brackets, Chris King also. A slight upgrade for me. I added that to the build itself. The fork itself is a carbon fiber, custom 7-cycle fork. Notice that it's kind of extra wide. I can put a mountain bike tire on this, a 40 millimeter tire. Right now I'm using a 28 millimeter tire. And the tires themselves that I bought for this bike are Mavic Crucerium Elite USTs. They are tubeless tires, which I am running tubes on right now. It's a long story, but you can run these things without tubes. The technology is there right now to do that, which I probably will do at some point, but I've got tubes in them right now. The shop suggested I do that. The other thing you'll notice is that I've got fenders on this particular bike. Normally I don't ride with fenders. There is what I consider to be a classic design company called Portland Design Works, I think, that builds these nice aluminum fenders which protect you in mud and dirt and rain and all that, and all your equipment, which I wanted to do. So I added those on. There was a little actually, obviously some weight disadvantage to that, but I think all in all it's worth it for this particular bike. I would not do this on my road bike, of course. And then I added a rack kit. It's called the Iberia. I think it's the Aztec, maybe. I gotta look this up. But it's Iberia is the company. And I'll show you some of the components on this in a minute when I put them together on the bike itself. The seat is a Selly Flight. Some cushy to it. One of the trade-offs I was thinking is going with a Brooks saddle, which a lot of people swear by, but the guy I was dealing with at Ride Studio said that this would be just as good for me, the type of riding I do anyway. So the other thing you'll notice is that I've got disc brakes on it. I think the company is called TRV, and they are what they call manual disc brakes. A little simpler than the hydraulic type, and I think just as effective anyway. And last but not least is the whole drivetrain. It's running a compact set with a 50 by 34 rings here on the front. 50 is the large one, 34 is the small one. And in the back, this is not a great angle, but you probably don't need to see it. It is a, 11 by 32 cassette in the back. And this is SRAM 22, is the Force 22 it's called, is the grade I've got of SRAM equipment, which I happen to like above Shimano, but that's just my personal preference. And that's the basic kit. Be back for more.